You think being rich means being wealthy, you're wrong, and that confusion is costing you everything. A doctor earning $400,000 a year with $500,000 in debt is rich. A plumber earning $75,000 with $300,000 in investments is wealthy. One is trapped, one is free. Most people spend their entire lives chasing the wrong thing. This content is for educational purposes only. It does not constitute financial advice. The goal here is understanding, not instruction. This video destroys the lie you've been sold about success. Rich is income, wealthy is assets, rich is fragile, wealthy is resilient, rich is performance, wealthy is freedom. And almost everyone is optimizing for rich while wondering why they feel financially insecure. By the end, you'll see exactly why high earners go broke, why modest earners build empires, and why the game you think you're playing isn't the game that matters. Let's start with the lie everyone believes. Society teaches you to worship income. What do you do? How much do you make? These are the first questions people ask because income is how we measure success. Get the degree, get the promotion, get the raise, chase the salary. This is the script you're given from childhood, and it's completely wrong. Income measures how much money flows through your hands. Wealth measures how much you keep. Income is temporary. Wealth is permanent. Income requires your constant effort. Wealth generates money while you sleep. But nobody explains this distinction because the system profits from keeping you confused. As long as you chase income instead of wealth, you'll work forever. You'll consume everything you earn. You'll look successful while being financially fragile. And the moment you stop working, everything collapses. Here's the brutal reality. Rich people must keep working to maintain their lifestyle. They earn a lot, they spend a lot. Their expenses are locked to their income. If the income stops, catastrophe follows immediately. They have nice things but no security. Wealthy people can stop working anytime. They own assets that generate income independent of their labor. Their lifestyle is funded by investments, not employment. They might not look impressive because they're not performing success. They're living it quietly. This is the difference nobody teaches you. Rich is about appearance, wealthy is about structure. And structure beats appearance every single time over decades. Let me show you the math that makes this visible. Person A is a lawyer, earns $300,000 annually, impressive income, but they have $400,000 in student loans, $2 million mortgage on a house they can barely afford, luxury car payments, private school tuition, country club membership, high-end lifestyle. Their monthly expenses are $22,000. They're saving almost nothing because every dollar goes to maintaining the performance of success. After 10 years, their net worth is maybe $200,000, still in massive debt, still locked into their job because they need that $300,000 income to service all those expenses. One job loss means selling everything and starting over. They're rich but completely trapped. Person B is a teacher, earns $60,000 annually, lives in a modest house bought for $200,000 with a large down payment, drives a 10-year-old car paid off long ago, no consumer debt, no status purchases, monthly expenses are $3,000. They save and invest 40% of their income. After 10 years, their net worth is $350,000 and growing exponentially. They don't need their job. They could quit tomorrow and live off their investments if they chose to. They're not rich, they're wealthy, and wealthy wins. Here's what makes this so insidious. Rich feels better in the short term. You drive the nice car, you live in the nice house, you take the nice vacations, people perceive you as successful, your ego is satisfied, but none of that is real. It's performance, it's borrowed security. You're one disruption away from losing everything. Wealthy feels boring in the short term. You drive the normal car, you live in the normal house. You take normal vacations or none at all. People might think you're struggling. Your ego gets no satisfaction, but your security is real. You're building a foundation that can't be taken away. You're creating options. You're buying freedom, and freedom is what actually matters. The system deliberately confuses rich and wealthy because confusion benefits the system. If you understand the difference, you stop consuming and start accumulating. You become harder to control because you're not dependent on employment. You have leverage, you can say no, you can take risks, you can leave toxic situations. The system doesn't want this. It wants you predictable. It wants you dependent. It wants you earning more so you can spend more so you stay trapped forever. This isn't conspiracy. This is incentive structure. Banks profit when you borrow. Retailers profit when you consume. Employers profit when you're desperate. Your confusion between rich and wealthy serves everyone except you. Let's break down what rich actually means in practice. Rich means high income with high expenses. You're earning a lot, but you're spending everything or close to everything. Your savings rate is low or zero. Your net worth might even be negative if you have significant debt. Rich means you're optimizing for lifestyle now at the expense of security later. You're trading time for money and immediately converting that money back into consumption. There's no compounding, there's no accumulation. There's just an endless cycle of earn and spend. Rich people feel successful because they have nice things, but nice things depreciate. The car loses value, the furniture wears out, the vacation is a memory, nothing lasts. You're constantly working to replace what you consumed. It's a treadmill that never ends. Rich is also incredibly fragile. Your lifestyle is dependent on continuous high income. If you lose your job, get sick, face a recession, your entire structure collapses. You have no buffer, no runway, no plan B. You're living month to month even though you're earning hundreds of thousands annually. This is the paradox of high-income poverty. You look successful, you feel successful. But you're actually more financially vulnerable than people earning a third of your income because your obligations are massive and your assets are minimal. One disruption ends you. Now let's define what wealthy actually means. Wealthy means your assets generate enough income to cover your expenses without you working. This is financial independence. You might still work because you enjoy it or find it meaningful, but you don't have to work. That's the critical distinction: necessity versus choice. Rich people must work. Wealthy people choose whether to work. That choice is freedom. And freedom is the actual goal that everyone claims to want but almost nobody pursues because they're too busy chasing the appearance of success. Wealthy means you've built a portfolio of income-generating assets. Stock investments that pay dividends and appreciate over time. Real estate that generates rental income. Businesses that operate without your constant presence. Intellectual property that earns royalties. Anything that produces cash flow independent of your direct labor. These assets compound. The income they generate can be reinvested to buy more assets which generate more income. It's exponential growth. It's slow at first. Painfully slow. You're working and saving and investing and nothing seems to change for years, but then compounding accelerates. The assets start generating significant income. That income buys more assets. Suddenly you're ahead, and once you're ahead you pull further ahead because your money is working for you instead of you working for money. Wealthy people often don't look wealthy. They drive modest cars. They live in reasonable houses. They don't broadcast their financial situation because they don't need to. Their security comes from their balance sheet, not from others' perception. This is stealth wealth. It's strategic invisibility. It's recognizing that performing wealth is expensive and pointless. The people you're performing for don't care about you. Their opinion has no impact on your actual financial situation. So why spend money trying to impress them? Wealthy people understand this. They opt out of the status game entirely. They focus on structure, not appearance. And that focus is what allows wealth to accumulate. Here's the timeline that shows how these two paths diverge. At age 25, Person A and Person B start their careers. Both earn $50,000 annually. Person A focuses on looking successful. They upgrade their apartment. Buy a new car with financing, spend on clothes and experiences to project the right image. They save 5% of income. Person B focuses on building wealth. They live modestly, drive a used car, avoid status purchases. They save 30% of income. By age 35, Person A is earning $100,000 but their net worth is maybe $50,000. Person B is also earning $100,000 but their net worth is $300,000. Person A looks more successful. Nicer things, better lifestyle. Person B looks average, but the structure underneath is completely different. By age 45, Person A is earning $200,000. Their lifestyle has scaled with their income. They now have even more expensive obligations. Net worth is maybe $300,000. Person B is also earning $200,000 but kept their lifestyle flat. Net worth is $1.2 million. Person B could retire now. Person A still needs to work for at least 15 more years. By age 55, Person A finally understands what happened. They're earning $300,000. They've been successful by every social measure, but they're still working because they have to. Their net worth might be $700,000, not enough to retire on. Person B stopped working at 50 because their investments generate more than enough to live on. Net worth is $3 million and growing. Same starting point, same career length, completely different outcomes. The difference was the focus. Rich versus wealthy, appearance versus structure. The really cruel part is that society celebrates rich and ignores wealthy. We valorize the high earner with the luxury lifestyle. That person gets respect, admiration, social status. The modest earner who quietly builds wealth gets nothing, no recognition, no status. They're perceived as less successful even though they're objectively more secure. This creates psychological pressure to choose rich over wealthy. You want the recognition, you want the status. You want people to see you as successful, so you spend money to create that perception. And every dollar spent on perception is a dollar not building wealth. Society is pushing you toward financial fragility while making it feel like success. Let's address the most common objection. What if I want both? What if I want the nice lifestyle and the financial security? The honest answer is that most people can't have both. The math doesn't work. If you're spending heavily on lifestyle, you're not investing heavily in assets. You can do one or the other. You cannot do both unless your income is so extraordinarily high that you can fund an expensive lifestyle and still have massive surplus to invest. That's possible for people earning 7 figures plus. For everyone else, it's a choice. lifestyle or security, appearance or structure, rich or wealthy, and the choice you make in your 20s and 30s determines your 50s and 60s. Some people make a hybrid choice. They spend moderately on lifestyle, not at the top of their income capability, but not ultra-frugal either. They invest consistently, but not aggressively. This is reasonable. You can build wealth over a longer timeline while maintaining acceptable quality of life, but even here you're choosing security over appearance. You're consciously not maximizing lifestyle in order to build assets. You're still prioritizing wealthy over rich. You're just doing it less extremely. Here's the psychological shift that has to happen. You need to redefine what success means to you internally. If success means impressing others, you'll chase rich. You'll spend on visible signals, you'll trap yourself. If success means having options, you'll chase wealthy, you'll build quietly, you'll gain freedom. Most people never make this mental shift because they never question the definition they inherited. Society told them success is income and lifestyle. They accepted it without examination. Spent decades optimizing for the wrong outcome. Then they're shocked when they reach 50 and realize they're still trapped despite high earnings. They blame the system, they blame bad luck. They don't realize they've been playing the wrong game the entire time. The system teaches you to be rich because rich people are predictable and controllable. You need your job, you need your income. You can't afford to quit or rebel or demand better treatment. You're locked in. Employers love this. They can extract maximum value from you because you have no leverage. You're dependent. Wealthy people are unpredictable and uncontrollable. They can walk away. They can take years off. They can say no. This makes them dangerous from the system's perspective. The system doesn't want you wealthy, it wants you rich. High income, high spending, zero freedom. That's the ideal worker, productive and trapped. So here's what we've covered. Rich is income, wealthy is assets. Rich is fragile and dependent on continuous work. Wealthy is resilient and generates income without work. Rich looks impressive but creates no security. Wealthy looks boring but creates freedom. Society celebrates rich and ignores wealthy because the system profits from keeping you focused on income and consumption. The person earning $300,000 and spending $280,000 is poorer than the person earning $70,000 and spending $40,000. Net worth matters more than income. Assets matter more than lifestyle. Structure matters more than appearance. You can chase rich and work forever, or you can build wealthy and gain freedom. These are incompatible goals you must choose. The people who figure this out early win. They spend their 20s and 30s building assets while everyone else performs success. They look less successful, they drive worse cars, they live in smaller houses, but by their 40s they're financially independent while their rich peers are still trapped. Rich peers are still working high-stress jobs they hate because they need the income. The wealthy person is choosing how to spend their time because they built a foundation that freed them. This isn't luck, this isn't inheritance, this is choice. Repeated thousands of times over decades, every choice between spending and investing, every choice between appearance and structure, every choice between rich and wealthy. You're at a choice point right now. You can keep optimizing for income and lifestyle, keep chasing the raise, keep upgrading when you earn more, keep performing success for an audience that doesn't care about you. That path leads to decades of work and minimal freedom. Or you can start optimizing for assets and security. Keep your lifestyle flat even as income grows, invest the difference, build in silence. That path leads to freedom, not immediately, not next year. But in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, you'll have options that your rich peers will never have. You'll be wealthy while they're still rich. And wealthy beats rich every single time. If you're tired of the lies and want the truth about how money actually works, subscribe to Wealth Explained 360.